All right, everybody, what's going on? Welcome back to City Skylines 2. This is Need More Drums with another video in our first city that is yet to be named. So again, this is a reminder to leave any name suggestions down in the comments or on one of the posts that I've posted over the past couple of weeks. I am waiting till episode 10 to name the city so that we get, a nice variety of suggestions in, and hopefully everybody can, voice their opinion, and we'll take a vote when the time comes. So yeah, get those suggestions in. We'll figure that out in the next couple of episodes. But for now, the city's starting to look like a proper city a little bit. I'm really happy with downtown area that we rebuilt last episode, and I'm also happy with this little downtown area that kind of came out of nowhere. Just a little medium density zone. I like it a lot. Might replace these guys with some medium density as well, but for now, it's looking not too bad, and all these suburbs came together quite nicely. I'm pretty happy with it. But today, I have a couple of goals, and I do think they're very achievable. I know I always say this in every episode that, I say what I want to do, and then I never do it, or, I don't get to it because it's a little bit too much of a, it's too big of a project, and I don't really have the time or dedication to do everything that we say we're going to do. But in this episode, I really think we could do it. So let's go ahead and jump in and get started. All right, so if you'll remember in the last episode, or two actually, we've left some train lines kind of, here, this one right here, and then this one over here, with the idea that we were going to put some passenger stations in. And just real quick, at the end of the last episode, I decided to go ahead and just throw down this rail depot right here because we've been needing to do that for a long time. I said, why not just get it done so we have it, and then we can actually plan out our train stations. So that's one thing that I want to do today, is actually get the passenger network kind of started here, get some trains going. And then I also want to expand out this highway here and kind of create what will be a connection to our bigger city over in this area once we actually get there. So I want to kind of, lay the groundwork for that now, so that we have some sort of, plan going into that. Also, I want to clean up this interchange too. It looks pretty disgusting and unsymmetrical, and I don't like that. So we'll figure that out. But then there was one more thing that I wanted to do, and I can't think of it right now. Yes, industry. So we have a huge demand for industry. We always have had demand for industry, and somebody in the comments in not the last video, but I think the video before that, two videos before that, said, I made a comment that the economy wasn't really like working to my standards. And, I thought, maybe it could be the game, since it's so pretty new. Maybe some of the mechanics haven't really been fleshed out yet. But somebody said, no, I think the economy works pretty well. You really need to focus on specialized industry, and that'll give you a big boost to your economy. So I thought, maybe we could try that in this episode. Maybe work on, improving the existing industrial areas already, and maybe creating some new ones, fill in like some of these gaps here with some specialized industry if we can, because then we can actually start to create some useful goods and services. Well, I guess not really services as much as goods, but we could start to produce our own goods that we could sell, because as I recall, the production chain system in this game is a little bit more in depth. Actually quite a bit more in depth than in City Skylines 1. If you click on any shop, it'll tell you what the shop sells, and then if you click on any industrial zone, it'll tell you what the industrial zone produces. So, we have like, this produces food and requires vegetables and livestock. So these could actually be produced within your specialized industry, and then you can provide for your generic industry just by having that specialized industry on the map, so that you reduce the need for importing goods. And so that's a good, a really cool concept and a cool thought. And I love, in-game economies and stuff, and kind of working on balancing the economy and trading goods and production, kind of the macroeconomics of it all, right? So I think that's really cool, and I'd like to get into that in this episode a little bit if we have the time. But first, let's start with the trains. So jumping over here, if we look at how big these train stations are, we actually are going to need to do a little bit of rearranging here. I don't want, well, one, I'm going to delete this train track and kind of rebuild it, but two, I don't want this train station to sit right on this main road. You know, that is a recipe for disaster because there's going to be presumably like a lot of traffic, you know, probably a bus line or something. And you know, I don't want to have buses stopping on this road and everything, because this is a pretty main road and it's going to stay as a main road since it kind of runs, you know, all along this coast here and everything. So we're going to do something like this. I'm almost thinking about making it a one-way, just because I like one-way sometimes. You know, they make for a little bit of a nice separation and a pretty easy traffic flow. Why don't we do that? So yeah, so this will be our little station entrance here, and something kind of, you know, something a little bit different, kind of interesting. And we're gonna go ahead and place down the station now. And I think I do need to do a little bit of terraforming to bring out this land a little bit more. Yeah, just gonna fix this up real quick. Yeah, that's a little bit better. So we're gonna go ahead and put this down right like so. Beautiful. And let's go ahead and put down some train tracks. And so this road is kind of in the way for now. I'm probably gonna just delete it for now. I don't quite yet know what I want to do with this area, but I put this road here kind of anticipating that I'll put like maybe some kind of either a park or like a you know, some destination building, right? Like a museum or something kind of special like that. So we'll see what becomes available to us later on in the game, but just as a placeholder, you know, for now I just wanted to keep that there. Yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and just add this train track. I think hopefully this curve won't be too bad. That's not bad at all. We can work with that. That is something, but we're gonna roll with it for now because it works. So let's leave that, and I think people are gonna actually start using this train station once we get it connected, which is a cool aspect of the game. I actually realized that you need to connect trains to the outside connections to get them to bring in passengers from the outside connections, I think. So if you look at this, we make this railway line tool, for example, and we could actually, so there's a few different, it looks like we can almost do it. Oh, that's cool. We could do it based on the platform as well. We're gonna have like a outside city platform here. And if we connect, I believe if we go all the way out here, we can connect, yeah, to that external city and then bring it back in here. So that's pretty cool. And now that we have this one placed down, I'm gonna make this into like a cool park area as well. So this is gonna stay open for now. But now that we have this station down, I wanna go ahead and make ourselves a little passenger network. This line, remember, I think I talked about it in the last episode. Sorry, it's been a while since I've actually recorded these this episode, and you know, it's been a while since I've been in the game, but life has been very busy. But yeah, I think I mentioned that this is going to be a freight line. I don't want this to be a passenger line. There's really nowhere to put a passenger station here on this line, so it's going to be a freight line. But this station, however, over here, this is going to be a passenger station, and I am worried that, let me just see. Yeah, exactly what I thought. So we actually don't have the room to put this here with this road here. So I think we're gonna have to do a little bit of rearranging, which is totally fine. I think what I'm gonna do is move this wastewater treatment plant, just because I don't want to move the recycling center. I like where that's at, but this could be moved somewhere else. And I think I'm going to put it maybe, let me think. I think we're just gonna build a road over here. Just move it up the hill a little bit because that'll work. That'll give us some space. Yeah, we'll just do that for now. So now that we have that figured out, I'm gonna put down this train station, and this one I don't mind being on this road right here, just because it's a little bit, you know, less of a busy area. I feel like if we need to change this road up to kind of, you know, remove some of the parking or something like that, we can. But I'm just gonna go ahead and put this down right here because kind of a cool little main spot. And I know that I have this highway or this avenue going here. That's probably going to connect up to this highway. This will probably be, you know, an elevated overpass anyway, so eventually it'll probably go over these train tracks. I might just, I guess we'll keep it for now. Yeah, I might actually delete it. I'll give myself a little bit of a placeholder, but not, you know, anything that significant as of yet. But place down that for now to remind me to come back to that later, because I know I will forget. But yeah, now let's just go ahead and connect up these train tracks. So the reason too that I wanted to get rid of that, remove that water treatment plant, is because I want to be able to drag out this train line right through here so that we can actually have it, you know, kind of connect up to some, you know, whatever we build over here. I want it to go through so we can continue this line if we need to in the future. All right, so now we have enough train stations to actually make a train line. Let's go ahead and do that. Let's make our first passenger line. And there we go. That is all connected up. So now we can actually focus on, high resource cost. Interesting. Actually, yeah, so this is what I'm talking about. It looks like, you know, maybe having some local production will help alleviate some of these issues. I've actually never seen this one before. So we're gonna try to figure that out if we can in a second here. But yeah, so now we have our train line, which is awesome. And we can see, you know, here's a freight train coming through, which we actually don't have a freight line yet. But that's just a outside connection. But yeah, that's pretty sweet. Another thing is, speaking of freight lines, I'm kind of tempted to, these cargo stations are pretty big, actually. They're pretty significant compounds, if you will. So I wonder if it might actually be worth it to put one of them down over here, because we have the rail yard here, and I think it would be cool to make kind of a railroad destination, and then we can have, you know, some highway connections kind of coming through here for the truck traffic, and you know, it'll serve as kind of a nice barrier between this industrial complex and whatever, you know, town or suburban development we put out over this way. So actually, I'm probably gonna experiment with that just a little bit and see if I can get that cargo station to look good over here somehow, so we can figure that out. Let's give it a shot. So this is interesting. I actually didn't realize how high up this this rail depot was compared to the other areas over here, like these tracks. So we might have to do a little bit of rearranging. Yeah, I did not realize that it sat up this high, because that's going to be a problem, because I did want to connect this track to this track, or, you know, somehow like connect all these up. And so that is not going to work right now. So let's pause the game, do a quick little rebuild, and get this all fixed up. All right. Well, that's a little bit better if we actually look, at the lines here. I kind of tried to, obviously this isn't going to stay like this, but I kind of tried to just make a little bit of a valley, and then, we'll have this kind of mountainside come in here, and then hopefully a highway kind of come snake through here, kind of, break this apart. But one thing that I did forget is that I did say that I wanted to try to fit like a cargo station in here as well. I don't know if this is going to be the best spot to do it, but it will probably branch off of this train line somewhere, because I was going to put it, like right here, but with this mountain, or not really mountain, but, big hill kind of being right there, I don't really want to, have like all this stuff just kind of crammed into this area. I'd like to make it a little bit, spread it out a little bit. And even right here, I don't think I'd want to put it here either. So, this area I'm gonna, fill with some industrial expansion, most likely, and some trees, to kind of cover up some of this ugly terrain. Yeah, let me just fix this up real quick again, and then we'll move on to the next project. All right, so I actually just had a thought. Since we have this open area here, I wondered if we can maybe make this into kind of a cargo terminal area for the rail network. I still got to think about what I want to do about a port, so we'll figure that out in a later episode. But I think this industrial area is big enough where it could really benefit from some freight traffic. As you can see, here's a freight train going right through here now. So, yeah, I did want this to be a freight line, and in order for this to be an active freight line, we actually have to have a, freight cargo station. So I might as well just put one kind of right here in this spot. I'm gonna have to get rid of these. If I get rid of this road, then actually I'm gonna need to D-zone those buildings and probably get rid of these roads as well. But we should be able to fit it in despite having this, landfill right here. We have this nice open area where we have some room to work, and I don't really feel like putting any industrial areas there. The only thing that I do need to do is make a road that goes on this side. I'm actually going to level out this terrain here again as well. But yeah, we'll probably do, something down here, maybe with some specialized industry or something. That might be kind of cool. But for now, and we'll have that highway come through there too. But let's go ahead and put down this train station. Actually put down the road first, I forgot. But oh man, too many things going on. Too much going on at once. Gotta, take it slow sometimes. Think about what you're building. See, actually, that's not even square with those roads. So let's do that again. You know what we're gonna do? We're actually gonna do this old trick. Drag the road out. And then we'll make our cross street here. And we'll get rid of that. So now I know that's square with those roads. And then we can go ahead and put this down, probably just right here. That'll be perfect. So we can have this little end of the line freight terminal. It is surprising that you can't drag the train track through the cargo train station. I'm kind of surprised about that actually. So extra tracks. I mean, I guess maybe you can put it there. Oh, I guess it just goes there. So yeah, so it doesn't actually, you actually can't drag it through, which is interesting. But it'll still work just fine. But just a thought. Go ahead and put this, connect up this train track real quick. Going to connect up that road. Then we can actually create a little alleyway here. Probably fill this in with some more generic industry. Just to fill the space. There we go. So we have our cargo terminal, but one thing that we do need to do, similar with the passenger network, you actually have to make a railway line for your freight trains. Otherwise, they won't get any cargo. So let's go ahead and connect it up to the same what is that? Cloutier. I guess that is going to be our destination. So now we have our freight train route and a passenger train route, and I'll probably end up connecting this cargo line up to this line as well. Maybe at some point if we can get the freight to go over that way, but that's just one of the cargo stations. I'm sure we're going to have more. Definitely once we make our port, wherever that's going to be, maybe over here or something. Not too sure yet, but yeah, we're definitely going to have some more freight trains going through the area. So that's awesome. I'm really happy that we got that done. Now we have some functional rail networks in the city. So the next thing that I said I wanted to do was kind of expand out this highway real quick. So let's just go ahead and let me show you what I'm talking about. So our next city that I want to develop, like in terms of, you know, a bigger downtown area, in addition to here, but the on the left here, but the next major city that I want to develop is going to be sitting kind of around this bay here. So with that being said, there's going to need to be some kind of highway access to that city, and I don't really think we have the room. Oh, check it out. Great town. Nice. Got some more progression points. Oh, we have some high density businesses now. That's interesting. Some high density commercial, and we have a lot more progression points. So we're just going to hold off on buying anything with these for right now until we figure out kind of the next steps of the city and what we want to do. I did just buy this intersections because we're going to need that, but we'll come back to that in a little bit. But yeah, so as I was saying before we got interrupted, I do want to go ahead and, you know, drag out a highway that will serve as a connection point to the city, since we don't really have the room to build one, you know, through here at all. It will make sense to kind of have something probably coming from this way, and then, you know, that's probably going to be the best bet that we got. So we're gonna figure that out in just a second. But the first thing that I want to do actually is get rid of this. Well, not get rid of, but just fix this ugly interchange. This is actually disgusting. I hate the way that looks. Let's pause the game so that people don't, you know, freak out about where they're going. But we're just gonna completely just bulldoze this because this looks absolutely horrendous. Ugh. Gross. See you later. But all right, we do have these interchanges now. If I can find them, there we go. Like this teardrop roundabout or this single point interchange. This one's actually pretty big. I don't think we need that right now. I don't even know if that's, yeah, that's strange. But this one is a perfect size. So I think we're gonna go ahead and put this one down. See if that looks a little bit better than what we had, and I'm actually going to demolish that too because that looks gross, and we'll fix that. But yeah, that way this should give us a nice connection point to these roads. If I can just get it to line up a little bit better. Cool. And the thing about this though is that we could actually probably upgrade these roads to the avenue that I had originally. So yeah, so let's go ahead and do that too. That looks so much nicer than the other crappy interchange that I had built. I like this a lot. So let's connect this up, and we'll connect this up. And actually we could probably get away with doing something like that. Just leaving the 3 lanes, since it's not that much of a difference. Yeah, I like that a lot. So now that we have that built, we could probably go ahead and make some sort of interchange to, well, I actually want to do a couple things here. So we do need a way to get some truck traffic off of this main road here and diverted to the industrial zone here. So what I'm thinking is these 2 little alleyways could serve as a really, really good access point for some trucks to connect up to this highway here. And if we could probably build a nice roundabout around here if we want to. That would give us a nice connection point. Or we could almost go directly onto the highway, but the problem is that we would need to cross over. And since this is kind of like a weird, this is actually a one-way road. So what we could do is instead of doing the round, I mean, I guess we could do a roundabout, but then it would kind of be defeating the purpose of keeping this like weird separate road thing here. You know what I could do actually is something like this. So we could do something like this, and in the spirit of doing the most non-American thing possible, we could actually delete the ability for cars to turn across traffic. And that way, just by eliminating left turns, you know, it forces any traffic to go through these roundabouts and then come back you know, to get to these roads. So we have, you know, no stoplights there. Yeah, so that'll work really well, I think, in terms of, you know, traffic flow, and now trucks can have another point of access to the industry area rather than having to go all the way through this one roundabout down there, because this is, you know, as you can see, there is tons and tons and tons of traffic going through here, and we definitely needed to do something about that. And speaking of which, I actually don't want, since this is kind of a main road, I don't want any traffic parking on here either. So I'm actually going to go, and I don't need to upgrade that in the to have a median, but at the very least, we can plant some trees, do something like that, so that the people can't park on the side of this road. That'll be a little bit better, have a little bit better traffic flow. And now the cool thing is we can actually zone on this main road as well. So I might actually go ahead and put down some commercial, because we need commercial, and we have this little industrial area that's kind of by this residential area, and I did that on purpose. I know everybody's like, oh my gosh, you can't put industry right by, you know, residential. Well, you can, and you shouldn't, but you can. And in real life, you know, there's a lot of places that are like that. I know by me, there's quite a few industrial areas that are, you know, pretty much right across the street from some residential blocks. And that's because, you know, the people, the houses were kind of built for the workers, so people can get to work really easily. And, you know, noise pollution and air pollution weren't really super big considerations back then. So it just kind of is what it is. But this will, you know, give if people don't like it and they move out, then we can, you know, maybe change this to some commercial later on. But for now, I kind of like it being right here by this industrial area. It is a little bit practical when you think of, you know, people trying to get to work on time. So let's leave that there. And then real quick, you know, something that we haven't added yet is any kind of parking. We do have some parking options. We have some small, medium parking lots and a parking garage. And we can actually, where does this go? Right there. I can even see like an outline for it. There we go. That's not too bad. So you not a bad use of that space. And then we can actually put down the another commercial building right here. Now we have a nice little developing area, if I say so myself. Can't really complain too much. This is turning out to be not too bad at all. Not bad at all. So these guys still have quite a bit of a problem procuring some resources. I figured that'll go on until we add in some specialized industry, which I don't think we're going to be able to get to this episode. Actually, I think this might be a good place to kind of call it an episode. I know it's been a lot more talking rather than building, but you know, this is kind of one of those things we just kind of had to go through, do a little bit of planning, and get some things sorted out. So we do have some train lines now, which is nice. And actually, before we end, my bad, let's build the highway. I forgot about that. So let's go ahead and do this before we call it a day. So we do have this beautiful T interchange. Well, I guess this is really more for getting off of the highway rather than, yeah, I think this is kind of what we want, is this bigger, more high-speed one. Honestly, though, this is kind of too big for this area. That is not going to work, is it? And I know I could build my own, but I really don't feel like it because these are very symmetrical and they look great. This one especially, I like this a lot. I might go ahead and build this one if I can just get it to fit in a little bit better. Maybe we can do some work around that. And I don't want to delete, you know, any of these suburbs that we built because we had literally just built those. But honestly, I'm sort of tempted to because it does fit really nicely, like right there. But nah, we won't. Or maybe I do just have to build my own. Hey, you know what? I hate to do it, but I'm going to do it. We will rezone these in a second. I know this is a terrible urban planning mistake right here. But you know what? Happens. We're gonna use our eminent domain here and get rid of those because I just didn't feel like rebuilding this whole highway and trying to get this to connect. It just would have been a pain. But this will fit in quite nicely right here. So let's go ahead and just demolish this highway as well. And I think that might be a pretty nice spot. Perfect. Yep. That is exactly what I wanted. So that's fine. And actually what we could do too is, you know, kind of bring out these roads so that it looks like there were once roads here, which there were. And this one can actually come out a little bit too. We can have a couple of cul-de-sacs right around here. And we can still zone some houses, you know, in this area as well. So actually all these guys don't need to go. We can actually rezone all of these. No problem at all. You can rezone some right there. And that way, you know, we still have some homes in the area. No problem at all. And now let's go ahead and connect up these highways right here. So now if we turn on our lines here, you can actually see where this highway is going to go. I do kind of want to put it sort of through this area, and I was thinking about elevating it a little bit as well, kind of having it go against this mountainside. We'll leave that for now. We'll have it go over this area as well, but we'll leave that until a later episode. Yeah, I just want to lay the groundwork for that, so that we can, you know, add some industry here if we need to or whatever. And speaking of industry, for the next episode, I do want to dive into some of the specialized industry. You know, I know we have it all unlocked. I probably won't be able to put much farmland on this side, but I can maybe put a little bit over here. And we can also do, you know, some of these other forms if we want to, such as even forestry. We have quite a bit of you know, forested area that we could take advantage of in this map. And I don't know if this is going to be the right place for it, kind of up in these mountains here, but you know, it might be. We might look into that if we can. Yeah, it's a shame. Even the stone mining maybe we could do, but it's kind of too close to this highway. I don't know if we're really going to be able to get into that deposit, but over here, that's something that we could get into. So yeah, just, you know, things to think about in the future. But for now, I'm just going to press play. And I think I'm going to go ahead and call it an episode. I've been building for quite a little bit, even though, again, didn't do too much in terms of actually building out some of the parts of the city. But in the next episode, we're going to focus on either some specialized industry or even, man, I forget. Again, forgot to connect those power lines. There we go. But yeah, some specialized industry or just kind of cleaning up some of these downtown areas. You know, I want to fill out this spot. I want to fill out this whole area here, this downtown area. This is going to be kind of its own thing. Yeah, even this area right here, you know, we got some things here that we could kind of clean up. So yeah, maybe that's what we're gonna do. Maybe we'll spend some time cleaning up some of the gaps and making things look a little bit more cohesive rather than just these kind of, you know, individual little piecemeal cities all over the place. You know, it'd be nice to kind of have this all looking put together a little bit more. But yeah, in the meantime, I hope you all have a great rest of your week. Don't forget to leave your name suggestions for the city in the comments. And I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. I've been enjoying making it. Although the game is a little bit frustrating to learn, it's still fun and I'm having a great time with it. So yeah, stay tuned for more episodes in City Skylines 2. Stay tuned for more episodes coming for City Skylines 1. I'm just trying to, you know, get ahead on those and record a few of those, but they're coming. And yeah, also Farming Simulator. Still have some videos going on there. So yep, enjoy your week. I'll talk to you guys in the next episode. Peace out.